Welcome in to Houston Texans Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to catch up to speed on the latest Houston Texans news and rumors. And today they are all about Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore Ravens quarterback has been through a very interesting couple of months, dating back to last offseason when the Ravens and Jackson were trying to negotiate a new contract. Obviously, fast forward to now, and there's still no deal that's been in place. Lamar did get the not-exclusive franchise tag, but other teams can negotiate with Lamar, potentially speaking, and bring him in. And with that, you have the possibility of somebody offering something to Lamar, or maybe even we see a traditional trade. Whatever it may be, Lamar is available if the Texans or any other team would like to bring him in. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky has suggested that the Houston Texans ought to make a trade for the Ravens quarterback. This is what Dan had to say on ESPN just a couple days ago. Realistically, there isn't a massive list of teams who can get a deal done. There are not a lot of options. Houston has the picks. They have a team that will not be a late first-round pick next year. They have the salary cap space. They just have all of the capabilities to do it. Interesting. More on that here in just a moment. Before we do, folks, you got to be subscribed to the channel. This is an exciting time for the Houston Texans. The NFL draft is around the corner. DeMeco Ryans is now in town as well. There's a lot of good going on for this Houston Texans team. So while the franchise hits the reset button, why don't you hit the subscribe button to the channel here? Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment as we cover this next era of Houston Texans football here on the channel. Subscribe for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. YouTube.com/TexansTV and be a part of what we're doing. You'll be glad you did. I'll say this much. I know that everybody is kind of focused on that number 2 pick in preferably Bryce Young, although it could be C.J. Stroud, depending on what the Carolina Panthers do. But the Lamar Jackson possibility is not a terrible idea. I mean, you look at Lamar Jackson. We know he's a talented player. He's a franchise quarterback. Sure, he's had, some injuries here and there the last couple of years, but you can't deny the talent. I mean, you go back to that MVP season in 2019 when he had 36 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He was electric, and we know what he is as a runner as well. This guy has been a Pro Bowler. He's been an MVP, first-team All-Pro, and he's still that same quarterback that he was a couple years ago. The Texans have still been trying to replace Deshaun Watson, all these years later. And Lamar Jackson, I think, is even better than what Deshaun Watson is. And so, with that said, the thing you have to point to with Lamar Jackson, I think we all know that he's a talented player and would make a team like the Texans a whole lot better. But even with that said, when it comes to Lamar Jackson, you have to remember the money in all this. It's all about the Benjamins, right? And the guaranteed money out there that Lamar has been suggested to be wanting somewhere in the $200+ million range, is that something the Texans want to do? Comparably speaking, when there's something unique about having a young rookie quarterback that you're not having to pay so much, and then you take that money that you would be paying on the quarterback and you get to spend on other positions. So with that said, I still think the Texans are going to go the young quarterback route, but Lamar does sound intriguing, doesn't it? What say you? Let me know in the comments. Should the Texans trade for Lamar Jackson? Y for yes, N for no. How you feeling about that possibility? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know if you think the Houston Texans should trade for Lamar Jackson or not.